Hello students, welcome back to Madhvi's Java programming tutorials. In this video, I'll discuss the concepts like polymorphism, inheritance, method overloading, and overriding. Let's see the contents. Introduction to polymorphism. It is of two types, static and dynamic. Difference between static and dynamic polymorphism. Types of inheritance. Recapitulation. One of the important object-oriented principles is polymorphism, which means many forms. For example, a female is known as a girl for the first few years, then woman, if she gets married, wife, then mother of children, and by profession, she might be a doctor, engineer, whatever it may be. So the same female is having many roles. Similarly, Java being an object-oriented language, methods which performs a single task such as print without parameters, print a string as well as integer. So if declared the print methods in the same class, they can be given the same name but with different signature. Signature means number of parameters, order of parameters, or type of parameters should be different. For example, first print method without any parameters. Second one parameter. Third one, two parameters. So, if declared in the same class, the name of the function is same, then signature must be different. But if they are declared in inheritance concept, inheritance means different classes share the properties. Different classes can have methods with the same name and must have same signature. Very important. So let's understand in detail. Polymorphism is of two types, static and dynamic. In static, a method is resolved or decided which method to be called is resolved during the compilation time. In dynamic, method is resolved during the runtime. Static polymorphism is implemented by method overloading, means signature change. In dynamic polymorphism, a method is implemented by method overriding. Let's understand both of them. Difference between static and dynamic. Static polymorphism, method overloading we are understanding. Static means during compile time, a method is resolved. Let's assume there is a class called employee, which has three member variables, name, address, basic. The member variables are also known as fields, attributes, and three methods. Name is same, but different parameters, overloaded methods. So let's see the definition of the class employee. Employee has three member variables, name, address, and basic. Member methods can be any number of methods. First one is input, second one is print, another print. Print without parameters, print with a string parameter. Definition is given and a main method we have created. Since these are instance methods, we have to create an instance, that is object. So employee E1 is equal to new employee. Constructor is called, although we haven't declared a constructor, Java provides. E1 is the object. E1.print method is called. And E1.print method, but sending a string parameter, which is XYZ. Now, these two methods are resolved at the compilation time. This E1.print calls the print method already decided by the compiler during compilation time. And then E1.print XYZ calls the second method. Let's see a Java program over here. In lesson 4, I have explained static polymorphism, But here, with reference to inheritance, we are understanding, but we are recalling basically. For example, static void print is a method. It is printing hello. And then another static void print string n accepting a parameter, signature change, and then static void print string n character grade. Here, just hello is printed. In the second method, hello, the name, whatever name is sent, is printed, and hello, n, that is name, and his or her grade is also printed. Main method is calling print abc, print abc, and a, because all of them are static methods. Static methods can call other static methods without any problem. In lesson 12b, I have made you understand how to call static members and instance members. Had it been not a static method, all these are not static methods. In that case, we need an object. How do you create? Static S1 is equal to new static, and all these instance methods must be called with the help of object, that is instance S1.print, S1.print, and S1.print. The link is given in the description box for lesson 4 and 12b. Let's understand what does it print now. Control K, void main. It is printing hello, hello ABC, grade is A. We cannot give the same signature to more than one function. This is method overloading. Let's suppose I have deleted a parameter here, control K. It is telling method print is already defined in class static. So signature change must be there. So this is about static polymorphism, that is method overloading. Many methods have the same name but different signature, that is number of parameters or order of parameters or type of data type must be changed. Now, let us understand dynamic or runtime polymorphism, that is inheritance. Dynamic polymorphism, method overriding, and superclass. Look at this. Employee is a class with 5 member variables: name, phone, address, father, designation, and 3 methods: read and print name. Now, we create 2 subclasses, superclass, subclass. In lesson 4, I have discussed a little bit about subclass and superclass. So, if there are 2 types of employees, first one is wage earned, second one is a regular employee. Wage earned employee is given the salary in such a way, number of hours worked will be calculated, and hourly pay is so and so multiplied by that, and every 15 days or 10 days wage earned employee gets salary. Whereas regular employees get the salary every month, and basic HRA, DA, and so many other parameters are there. But each employee, each type of employee has all the details like name, phone number, address, father's name, designation, etc. So instead of declaring these 5 variables in 2 different classes, that is wage earned and regular, we create a common class. In inheritance, we create a common class, make it as a super class, and the subclasses can get the details from the super class. Because of this, duplication will not be there. Duplication of name, phone, address, father, designation, and wage earned also, and regular also. So this concept is known as inheritance. The class which is sharing the properties is known as superclass, and the classes which share the properties means variables, member variables, as well as member methods are known as subclasses. So sharing the properties of a class with other classes is known as inheritance. And the class which allows sharing is known as superclass. Classes which use the properties of a superclass are known as subclasses. A subclass inherits attributes and methods from its superclass, and the keyword extends is used in inheritance. Methods in subclass with the same signature similar to the superclass are known as overridden methods. Look at the employee class, superclass has two methods, read and print. These two are used in wage earned also, regular also. So the read and print methods are known as overridden methods because they are there in the subclasses. In inheritance, the signature must be same. If we write public void read, in wage earned and regular also public void read only. If we write void print, in wage earned and regular, it should be void print only. Signature is not changed in inheritance. Whereas in static polymorphism, signature is changed. Only one class is there in static polymorphism. But in dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism, more than one class is there in the scenario, and the signature must be same for the overridden methods. Let's understand dynamic polymorphism with the help of a program after understanding types of inheritance. Simple inheritance, class A, and class B extends A. Immediately there is inheritance. Class A, class B extends A. Multi-level, by looking at the picture only we understand. Class A, we write the definition. Then class B extends A, whereas class C extends B. So this should be the definition. Hierarchical inheritance, one superclass is there, two subclasses. Class B extends A, class C also extends A. We'll write two programs, one simple inheritance, second one hierarchical inheritance to understand the concepts. Now these three are supported by Java directly. Whereas there are two more types of inheritance. First one is multiple inheritance, where two superclasses and one subclass. It is not supported by Java directly. If you see the previous slide one more time, hierarchical inheritance, one superclass, two subclasses, it is okay. But multiple inheritance, two superclasses, one subclass is not possible. But we write class A definition and interface B. We will understand interface in the coming videos. Now class C extends is the keyword to make it inheritance possible. Class C extends A, comma, implements B. Interfaces are implemented. Similarly, hybrid inheritance. See, this is multi-level as well as multiple inheritance. So we need some interfaces. B and C are superclasses for D, which is not possible. Let's see a Java program to understand the concepts. Let us understand inheritance with the help of two programs. One is simple inheritance. Second one is hierarchical inheritance. Here class A, superclass we want to make. So how do we write in class B? Class B extends A immediately. B becomes a subclass of superclass A. Now let's go to A class. Here we'll write the code void input system.out.println input method of superclass. Let's write one more method, but not input right now. Print. This is print method of superclass. So two methods we have written in superclass. Now let's go to B class, which is a subclass of A. In the main method, I want to create an object of B class. B1 is equal to new B. We have called a constructor which is given by the compiler, Java compiler itself. Okay. Now, B1 dot input I am writing, although it is not there in the same class. Then B1 dot print. When I compile, does not give any errors because it has checked in class A, is there any input method? Is there any print method? Yes, they are there. So class is compiled. But we are trying to understand dynamic polymorphism here. So B1 object of class B, although the method is not there in the same class, goes to superclass and executes. By mistake, if I write input 1, Control K immediately shows an error because it understood it has gone to class A and checked input is there but not input 1. Still, method is resolved during runtime. Method is called during runtime because once if we create an object B, then B1.input goes to A class and then executes. This is what is dynamic polymorphism. Let's execute the program and see in input what we have written in class A, input method of superclass and print method of superclass. So it will print these two statements. Let's execute the program. B, Control K once, main, okay. Input method of superclass, print method of superclass. Now, what if we have the same method? We want to override in B class. In B class, we want to write one more method with the same signature, void input. Let's assume class A has public void. If it is not public, then package level. Public void input. And if we create just void input, it is showing an error saying that B cannot override input in A, attempting to assign a weaker access privileges. It was public. Now we are trying to make it as package level. So if it is public over there, same signature, no change in inheritance. Now what happens? Here, not superclass, we have written in subclass. This is class B is a subclass. Input method of subclass. So when input method is called, earlier it was calling the superclass input method and superclass print method. But now, if we override both the methods, let's assume. Here we say print, there is one more error over here. See, in A class, void print is there, and in B class, public void print is there. It won't override. We should have void print only in order to have inheritance. Same signature. Okay, public void input, void print, print method of superclass, input method of superclass in class A. Here, input method of, here it should be print method. Okay, input method of subclass, print method of subclass. Now what happens if we call? Let's understand by creating an object one more time and execute. It is saying input method of subclass, print method of subclass. Since there are two methods in the subclass. Now, how to call the superclass methods is with the help of super keyword. So, let's understand hierarchical inheritance with the super keyword now. Employee class, class employee, and we have created two more classes, wage and regular. Let's see, class wage extends employee, means wage is in subclass of employee class. Regular extends employee, class regular extends employee. Now let's write some member methods and member variables. Public void input, input method of employee class. One more time I am pasting but making it as print method. This is print method of employee class. Another method, let's say print name. This is print name method of employee class. Now we want to override two methods. Override two methods. What are they? First one is input, second one is print. So I'm copying, Control C, and pasting in wage as well as in regular. Both the methods are overridden, but over here, not employee class, wage class. What is this? Wage class. And in regular, we give proper message, not employee class, but regular class. Okay. So, three classes are ready. First one is a super class. Next two are subclasses. So, input method of employee class, print method of employee class, print name method of employee class. Over here, only two overridden methods, input and print. Print method of wage class, print method of input method of wage class. Let's create public static void main string args. Okay. Over here, we create object of the same class, wage w1 equals to, any name can be given, new wage. Class name should be same, constructor name should be same. Now w1 dot input. We know that it will call the same class method, w1 dot print. And then w1 dot print name. Where is this print name method? In employee class, print name method. So wage class will call input method from the wage class, print method from the wage class, but print name method from employee class, right? So the same thing can be there in regular class also. Regular should be the object instead of wage. Fine. Now, if we execute, the output should be input method of wage class, not employee class. Then print method of wage class, spelling mistake. and then print name method of employee class. Let's execute and see the output. So output is input method of subclass. Let's execute one more time. Wage class, void main, okay. Input method of wage class, print method of wage class, print name method of employee class. So far it is perfect. Now let's make how to call the input method from employee class is using super keyword. How do we call super keyword? So I say super dot input. Super dot input. Now the control goes to input method of employee class. Prints whatever is there. That means 2 lines of output. That is input method of employee class, input method of wage class. Similarly, we call here super dot print. That means 2 more lines over here plus last one print name method from employee class, 5th line. So total 5 lines of output. So let's create. So super is the keyword, allows you to access the, see, 5 lines. Input method of employee class, input method of wage class, print method of employee class, print method of wage class, and print name method of employee class. Similarly, we can access the member variables also. Let's say int x is a variable, and in input method of employee class, we are saying x is equal to 25. Okay, x is equal to 25. In wage class also we create one member variable, int x only, overridden member, and in input method we say x equals to 10. If we call in print method system.out.println, x is plus x. This will definitely call the subclass x only. What if we want the superclass variables, the contents also? In that case, we have to use super.x. So here in print method, we have print method of employee class because of this statement, print method of wage class, x is x, that is 10, x is super.x, that is 25 from employee class. So many lines of output here, 2 for input, 4 in print method, and then one more in print name method. Control K and execute the program one more time. So super is the keyword which accesses member variables as well as member methods. Input method of employee class, input method of wage class. This is from input method of wage class, super.input and the message. Then print method of employee class, print method of wage class, x is 10 from superclass, x is 25 from subclass, and then print name method of employee class. One last point we need to understand in inheritance is any method which is static or any member variable which is static cannot be inherited. I make this input method as static. Static means available to that class only. So this method cannot participate in inheritance. Let's go to wage class, control K, Immediately it is saying input in wage cannot override input in employee. Overridden method is static. Static methods cannot be overridden. Go to regular, control K. Again it is saying input in regular cannot override input in employee because it is static. So static means available to class only, and static methods cannot be overridden. Now control K, everywhere without any problem it compiles. So this is about inheritance, static polymorphism, dynamic polymorphism. In static polymorphism, method overloading. In dynamic polymorphism, method overriding. Let's have a recapitulation. Polymorphism is of two types: static, compile time, and dynamic, which is runtime. Static polymorphism, a class has more than one method with the same name but with different signature. It is known as method overloading. Overloaded methods are resolved during compilation time. In dynamic polymorphism, more than one class may have the same methods with the same signature and use the concept of inheritance. It is known as method overriding. Overridden methods are resolved during runtime. Now, the class which allows the sharing is known as superclass. The classes which use the properties of a superclass are known as subclasses. Subclass inherits attributes and methods from its superclass. That is why it is known as inheritance. The keyword extends is used in inheritance. Superclass has some methods with same signature. Subclass also can have, and the methods which have the same signature in superclass as well as subclass are known as overridden methods. Keyword super allows the usage of overridden members of superclass from subclasses. Static member of a superclass cannot be overridden. Now, the next video is like creating a proper program on inheritance, that is method overriding. Thank you.